We're so happy to have you join us from all across the Nordic Baltic region. My name is Ula, and today I will lead you through this event. I am now a student at Vilnius University and also a former member of the Youth Advisory Board at the Nordic Council of Ministers office in Lithuania. As a youth representative, I am especially happy to welcome you as this project focuses on building stronger connections between youth and seniors through digital skills. Today's event is about how mentorship can be a powerful tool to promote digital inclusion and how it can strengthen intergenerational connections. This event is part of a project Bridging the Digital Gap through reverse mentorship. The project aims to develop and pilot a reverse mentorship framework in Lithuania with the intent to extend it through the Nordic Baltic region in the future. This initiative also aims to enhance digital literacy among both youth and the seniors, bridging this generational divide by fostering safe, trustful, supportive relationships between elderly and the youth. Let's now look what is ahead of us today. We'll start by some opening remarks, followed by a keynote and project insights. Then we'll take a short 5-minute break around 10:45 to refresh ourselves. After we come back, we'll move into breakout rooms where you all can discuss your ideas and experiences directly with each other. Before we begin, I have a few housekeeping notes. The most important one is that I urge you to ask questions and share reflections in the chat, preferably in English. We're very happy to hear from you. Later, we will share a few Menti links where you can also contribute your thoughts interactively. Also note that this event is being recorded. However, the breakout room sessions will not be recorded to ensure open sharing. Now, as we begin, I'm pleased to give the floor to Helen Nilsson, the Director of the Nordic Council of Ministers office in Lithuania.
Thank you so much, and I am happy to welcome you to today's event, Intergenerational Exchange and Mentorship for Digital Inclusion. On behalf of the Nordic Council of Ministers office in Lithuania, I'm especially pleased to open this gathering, which marks the conclusion of an inspiring initiative and highlights the very essence of the Nordic-Baltic cooperation: trust, mutual learning, and inclusive development across borders and generations. Over the past year, our office has had the privilege of supporting and funding the project Bridging the Digital Gap through Reverse Mentorship. The project started with a methodology developed by Lithuanian, Swedish, and Finnish partners and a pilot in Lithuania. It has grown into a model with clear relevance for the wider Nordic-Baltic region. At its heart, it's a simple yet powerful idea that we can build stronger, more inclusive societies when generations come together, and when learning is seen not as something that flows in one direction, but has shared experiences. Digital skills are increasingly important in today's world for accessing services, participating in public life, and staying connected with others. And yet, many older adults face real challenges in navigating this space, not due to the lack of capacity or resources, but often due to a lack of support or confidence. This project offered a practical and human-centered response. Young people supporting seniors to build digital confidence, while also learning themselves about to be patient, perspectives, and the power of connection. It is a model of intergenerational solidarity that reflects the core value of our regional cooperation. The Nordic Council of Ministers and our office in Lithuania works to strengthen ties between our countries, not only at political level, but through people-to-people collaboration. This project did just that. It brought together local communities, young mentors, libraries, civil society organizations, and senior networks. with the aim to create real impact in a way that is scalable, adaptable, and relevant to us all. Today is an opportunity to share the result of the work, but also to think about what we will do next. How might we use these practices more widely? How can we ensure that digital inclusion become a natural part of our thinking when designing services and communities? And how can Nordic-Baltic cooperation continue to support practical, people-focused initiatives like this one? I would like to thank all the partners who contributed to this project, and especially the mentors, as well as the participants who brought the project to life. I hope today's discussion will inspire new ideas, spark future collaboration, and remind us all that the strongest solution often comes when generations work together. Thank you for being here. I wish you a warm and engaging event.
Thank you, Helen. It's very nice to hear you, as always. And now I'm pleased to give the floor to Juhani Larienko, the National Coordinator for Finland Nordic Network of Lifelong Learning. He will help us reflect on the broader picture about how mentorship can connect generations and also increase this digital inclusion. Juhani will also introduce a short video segment which highlights real stories from all across the Nordic-Baltic region. Hi, welcome, Juhani.
Thank you, and I'm happy to be here. It's always a bit challenging sometimes, I think, to speak on behalf of others. And when we talk about issues like, for example, digital inclusion, it might sound very fancy. It might sound like something that everybody can agree to in principle as a good idea, but sometimes, in my experience, sometimes we might lose sight of what it actually means. And in the work that we have been doing in the Nordic Network for Lifelong Learning, we have been very mindful of this, because on the one hand, when you think that one of your tasks is to try and make society, the Nordic Baltic states, societies which are open to as many as possible of the people living there, it's tempting to talk about high-flying things like policies and recommendations and maybe funding and things. And yet, when I speak with policymakers, as well as teachers and people in NGOs about digital inclusion, I always get kind of the same response sooner or later. Things like, yeah, my father is not very good at digital skills, I have to help him. Or, yeah, I've heard of a story of someone who doesn't really know how to fix a doctor's appointments, things like that. Very everyday things. So the challenge might sometimes be to connect between these big ambitions and the everyday life that it connects to. So what we want to do in this webinar today is also to try and bring reality, what it actually means to be digitally included, and to, together with you today, reflect on how is it going? What are we doing, and what should we be perhaps doing together? And I thought that in order to ground ourselves a little bit, I would like to start by showing you, by showing you a video of some of the things that has been done in the past years in our Nordic Baltic countries. This is just a small sample, but it will, hopefully it will ground us and put the reality into what this is all about, to make us remember and realize and understand that this is very much about people and about the lives that we live every day. So that's the introduction. Let's roll the video, please.
Oi, kaip čia gerai.
Neskubėkit nieko daryti.
Kur že? Čia kažkiek.
Tai yra tekę mokyti ir 76, 86. Rekordininkas buvo 90 metų vyriškis. Taip, ir jam tarp kitko sekėsi kur kas geriau negu didžiai daliai jaunesnių piliečių.
Jeigu jum, mergaitės, nepasileidžia iš dvigubos pustelėjimo, arba jūs, taip tankiai nesukliksit su pele, tai nėra bėdos.
Hello! Opastukset tapahtuu kerran viikossa, aina sovittuna päivänä. Tänään on esimerkiksi tämä Kauhavan päivä, että on 6 opastusta. Ja 6 viikkoa kerran viikossa, 45 minuuttia kerrallaan henkilökohtaista opastusta. Monella on muistiinpanoja ja kysymyksiä valmiina, mikä helpottaa tietysti sitä tunnin etenemistä, että mennään vaan niitä asioita, mitkä heille on tärkeitä.
Tosi paljon kiitoksia siitä, että me saimme sun tänne. Me ollaan aivan uudesti oppineita, kun me ei koskaan ole näitä tiettyjä osattu. Tiistaita odotetaan, että me ei oikein nukukaan kunnolla, kun odotamme.
Niin, onhan se aivan eri asia, kun saa henkilökohtaista opastusta. Eikä sitä, että jonnekin porukas kuunnellaan, kun joku selvittää johonkin. Ja saadaan ihan, että kun odotan nyt, älä nyt, miten se menikään. Ja sitten saadaan kerrata niitä viime viikkoisia, että kun ei se enää sitten löydykään tuolta koneelta, mitä viikko sitten löytyy.
Vad önskar du för musik?
När jag var ung.
Ja, och du brukade lyssna.
Dennis Rossos. Jag tycker om Helene Sjöholm. Gabrielas
Sång. Jag har varit i Sverige 2 år. Jo, första gången där jag var nervös lite för att jag visste inte riktigt hur ska jag prata med folk och sånt, men vi gick på kurs så jag var jätteglad att hjälpa dem. Du måste gå på meny.
På meny?
Ja. Och du fick brev från Telia. NA. Brukar du inte öppna meddelande? Till exempel hur man använder mobilen, hur ska man skicka sms eller på bilder, hur man lyssnar på musik, läser tidningar och sånt. Så det var lätta frågor som jag kan, men de kan inte, så det var lätt för mig att förklara. Du fick sms.
Vi försöker säga att ni ska inte tänka att det är för sent att lära sig. Vi vill ni är inte så gamla, brukar vi säga.
Vi började prata med dem om andra saker. Och när vi började prata om andra saker kopplade vi med internet. Att man kan lyssna musik på internet, man kan se gamla bilder på nätet. Och de gillade idén, så vi började bli kompisar varje dag. Att man hälsar på varandra, man letar efter varandra, vi ser var de är. Och vissa brukade vänta på oss vid dörren innan vi gick dit.
The association implemented the Lithuanian Computer Literacy Basis project, co-funded by the European Social Fund. It contributed significantly to making 50% of Lithuanians genuinely computer literate, without leaving any digital gap in the population, regardless of people's geographical location or age.
Aš patenkinta, kad aš turiu tokią papildomą informaciją, kur aš galiu savo akiratį tą kuklų praplėsti. Aš poezijos randu mėgstamos, žodžiu, aš daug ko čia randu apie gėles.
The project allowed disabled people to find alternatives to essential elements missing in their lives by providing them with mobility.
įsisavinusi kompiuterinio raštingumo ir atsiradus galimybė prisijungti prie interneto, žmonės galėjo jau neišeidami iš namų bendrauti, skaityti laikraščius, gauti informaciją, galėtų atsiskaityti už kommunalinės patarnavimus.
Första 5-6 gånger var det liksom så här, jäklar vad händer om hon frågar så här och inte förstår liksom. Man blev verkligen nervös och man tänkte och man skakade så här när man gick dit.
Då vill jag att vi tittar på Facebook.
Men då gör vi det.
Ja.
Om du bara trycker här på internet.
Om det blir fel här, för det här står det så här att
du kan alltid ändra.
Här står det att jag jobbar på Örebro universitet och det har jag faktiskt inte gjort.
Nej. Men då, om du trycker på den här pennan. Jag lärde mig både språket, jag lärde mig hur man vågar prata. Det var ju det viktigaste. Så först var det sommarjobb och sen så var det Teamsjobb.
Och så står det Uppsala universitet, ser du det?
Har du inte jobbat där?
Jag har inte jobbat där heller.
Tack för idag.
Tapaan mielenkiintoisia ihmisiä. Yhdessä oppimista. Vapaaehtoistoiminta on ihan parasta.
Okej, ska vi fixa ljudet först? Du har ingen ljud.
Jag vet inte ett dugg hur det här är.
Men hur har jag fått såna där konstiga bokstäver?
Jag vet inte. Ja, precis. Kommer i alla fall. Vad fan funkar inte det här för liksom? Väldigt pillande.
Kan du söka något annat ställe kanske?
Det känns ju verkligen som att man ser en livlina. Veta att jag kan skriva upp och sen så kan jag gå varje lördag. Så kul att de kommer från andra kulturer också. Jag har bjudit hem en av tjejerna, Sonja. Vi gillade varandra. Och sen så började vi prata livet och pension och massa saker då.
Nykyinen digitekniikka on edullista ja se helpottaa elämää monella tapaa. Pankkiasioista ruokaostoksiin. Ja yhteydenpitokin on yksinkertaista. Mutta ei se aina välttämättä ole niin yksinkertaista kuin mainoslauseet antaisivat ymmärtää. Tervetuloa digiopastukseen. Me autamme ihan ensiaskeleesta lähtien.
Yeah, that was like a short walk down memory lane as well for some of us. And it to me, it shows several things. One thing that we learned in this project was that you can do guidance and IT support and IT help in many different ways. It depends a little bit on the way the country is organized, how things are done, how things are being done. It also changes over time. So in the first video from 2011, it was very much about computers and sitting down and learning how to access Facebook and stuff like that. And over the years, that has of course changed. Society is changing all the time. So both the model of delivery, the way in which we work with trying to bridge the gap, trying to get the digital divide smaller, it's also about what it is that we are talking about. The latest developments include issues like cybersecurity, but also the discussion on, for example, fake news and thefts online. The variety of topics doesn't seem to run out, so we are far from having a full digital society where everybody is included. Having seen that video and heard the opening remarks of Helen, I would now at this point want to try to invite you to reflect on what you think a digital open society would be like. What would that mean? So we did a Menti for you, and you will see the link to the Menti now in the chat, so that you can access and write words that come to mind. Don't think too much about it. Just come to mind, what does a society look like where everyone is digitally included? I know it's a big question, a big ask, but fundamentally at the end, I think that's where we should aim for. It's ambitious, yes. It's similar to other very ambitious goals in society, like everybody should have a job. There should be absolutely no violence against women anywhere, etc., etc. No racism should be tolerated. We know we will maybe never get to the 100%, but we should aim for it. We should have this ambition. And to do that, we have to have an idea of what it is. We have to discuss sometimes what it is we wish for. I mentioned threats and cybersecurity and fake news and social media and AI and things there are lots of things going on that might feel threatening, and we talk very much, in my opinion, about the negatives and the risks. And it's important to be aware of the risks. And when we talk about bridging the gap between generations and trying to reach the older population in particular, they are well aware of many of the risks, and the risks might be a barrier for them. So therefore, I think we also can benefit from talking about what would it be like, what would we want to see, and then, of course, following from that is how do we get there? So kind of painting the possibilities as a picture, I think, is helpful. If sometimes this job, this work, this volunteering feels like a never-ending job and a hopeless situation, that there are so many things going in the wrong direction, if you share my opinion that we are facing a lot of challenges globally today, political, ecological, etc., then we still have to find strength somewhere. So what you have put here is really heartwarming. Joy in connection, more possibilities, equality, peer support, gaming for all. Well, I like gaming, so that one comes close to me. Thank you. That's a very good one. Using all opportunities, fellowship, but also safety. 3 of you writes here, or 4 of you. Safe for everyone. Safety is a priority. Well, you can see the results yourself here. So I think we need to maintain a focus and keep our eyes on the prize, so to speak, to think about, these are some of the things we might want, and we might go about it in different ways. We might work on it on different levels. Some of us might be able to do it as volunteers. Some of us might be able to do it in policymaking or in trying to influence policymakers. And some of us might do it in our personal lives. And I think the lesson that we have learned is that this is not an easy or easily fixed challenge that just you have a solution, a fix, somebody does it and then it's done. It's much more complex than that. And from that also comes kind of the question which we have found in our work in the Nordic settings, and I would be very curious about how you view it, comes the reflection on who should be doing this. Whose responsibility is it? Let's see if I can manage to switch the Menti to that question and see what you have, because we have 21 responses here. I'll see if I can manage to, let's have just a second. Oh, there we go. And the next question would be this one. So here I would ask you to put these in the order. You can drag them So put them in the order you think is right. Who should build the Digital Society Open Tool? Who should have the responsibility? And well, there might be rules for all of these, but who is most in charge? Who should be most in charge? Who should be second, third, fourth, and fifth, and so on. So try and see if you can manage to drag these into the order that you like, and then we will see about the how you respond to this. Okay, we have some responses already, and I think you also saw the changes here. And this is a bit of a provocative and challenging question in a sense, because for some it might not be obvious that, for example, companies or enterprises, big IT business should have a role to play. For others, it might be that that's the only one, and as a citizen we are powerless. We can't really do very much. We don't have the authority or the mandate. And the question here is not just about finding the right answer, because there might not be a correct, right, final answer to this. But it's to show or to help us start reflecting on the complexity of the issue, because how we view this might reflect how we go about it. And this comes from a discussion we've had in our Nordic Network for Lifelong Learning about whose responsibility is it. Digitalization is sometimes, in our experience, a topic that falls between the chairs. It's not really clear who should be doing it, and therefore there is a risk that nobody is really doing it, that it's kind of falling between, and yeah, well, I hope somebody else will take care of it. And that's difficult or challenging for two reasons. One is it might give us a free pass of doing anything ourselves, expecting somebody else to do it. And it might also lead, in worst case, to a situation where we blame everybody else for not doing enough while we are not looking inwards to ourselves. So when we work with challenging issues like climate change or digital inclusion, we have found in the Nordic Network of Lifelong Learning that it is equally important to look inwards, to reflect on our own responsibilities as individuals, as professionals, as volunteers, whatever it is, to kind of share this work. So I was hoping, obviously, that you would pick all of the selections here as the main responsible for this. And indeed, that's what you have done. You have fulfilled my hopes. Thank you very much. I will close this. We will come back to the Menti later on for some more questions, but I will stop sharing this now. And so these are some of the reasons why we have been working together with our partners in Lithuania and in Sweden on trying to see if the method that is now going to be presented by Rita can be one tool in the toolbox. And we hope that you will find that interesting and useful, and also we very much welcome your input. What is it you think? How can we go about this in a good way? And for example, what still needs to be done? That question comes in the breakout rooms a little bit later on, and I will now give the floor back to Ulla.